Hey all, welcome to Circular Town. And today I'm going to discuss something which I've come to the conclusion of after years of AB and stuff, and that is microphones don't even matter anymore. The technology is such that the top Newman brands, the rest of it, they've all been copied. And the difference between the old ones and the new Newmans is even they can't copy their old ones, probably because of manufacturing restrictions to certain processes. So the cheap Chinese, the guys who actually know how to build a good microphone, like people like Sterling Audio, this is what got me on my recent quest because I'm going to start doing my own music more often. And I have a certain thing in my voice where I fry a little bit, and it's not an attractive fry. Sometimes it works. So I noticed that this microphone, the Sterling Audio ST59, it's a Class A FET, has lots of different polar patterns, and I think I probably paid about $60 for this. And I noticed that it sounded good in my voice. So I thought I'm going to test out all of the Sterling Audio range that was available to me to buy. And I bought something. I bought practically every model apart from the latest two new ones, I think. You told me I'm the only one. 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 And I put them up against my voice. Now, the difference was so subtle between, you would think this versus what I'm talking into now, which is a tube microphone. One of I think it's an ST69. The supposed best one is the tube microphone that I have, and just from price alone. So, but some things suit people's voices better than others. Like if you listen to me do S's and things like that, I have a slight gap, not so much of a gap, but misaligned front teeth because I'm British. So when I do say S's, it's the sibilance is crazy, and now you can't stop listening to it because you've never noticed it before, and now you're never going to unhear it. I went through all these different microphones, and they sounded practically identical, and probably because most of them were Sterling. So I threw in this one as well, which is an MX mid-range MX microphone. I have literally listened to almost 1,000 A/B tests on YouTube online. I know the audio quality, blah blah blah, YouTube, but it's going to be the same as what people are streaming anyway. So it's the end result is going to be what you're going to get. In the grand scheme of things, it's the performance that matters. Everybody can get the SM57. Was it $50 used? And there's other alternatives as well. If you can check out an old video of mine where I did $20 microphones. Put them on bass, put them on guitars. the Entombed albums, famous Swedish buzzsaw sound, was done on a microphone you can pick up for $20. So I think Neumann has lost ground compared to what they were. So how can you get closer to the old Neumanns, right? Which is what people, I talked about sibilance just now. A lot of the old ones were good because they handled that sibilance better than others. It was kind of like a velvety roll off on them, and versus the new ones, which are more, you can hear everything, all the details. So it's very interesting to me to see how far, like, people make fun of Chinese manufacturing and the rest of it, but how far it's come, man. And it's now it comes to things like horses for courses. What do you want? If you need a specific bass drum microphone and you're worried about that, Guns N' Roses was an SM57 on the bass drum. I think Guns N' Roses was an SM57 on every drum. The Appetite for Destruction, one of the best rock records of all time. And then when you get to the progressive type of microphones that you need, it's all drum replacement anyway. I mean, let's face it, most of you guys watching me are not going to be miking up kits. You're probably a guitarist and you're obsessed with that type of sound. So when it comes to microphones now, less guitars are being mic'd up. Let's get that straight. And so the microphones usually come in when it comes to the vocals. So what I'm saying to you is the best thing you can do is control your own sibilance, where, if you do p and t and s, you kind of have to turn your face away from the microphone to actually get that Neumann sound. So it's, you've got to control your own singing and your own performance. And then you can get closer to the expensive mics just from technique, So yeah, microphones don't even matter anymore. You can go on. What I did, I went to Guitar Center, used, because there's no mom and pop stores around me. Guitar Center's killed everything. What I like to do is get the lowest of the low from Guitar Center, because sometimes they don't even know what they have, and they blow them up for ridiculous prices. So they're not going to make much money off this. And in fact, they're going to make less because they have to ship it and the rest of it. So, and I went and I buy all sorts of microphones. I probably have about 40 microphones now. And I've come to the conclusion, good ones, bad ones, there's not much difference. Think about it. This versus a big tube, large condenser. They practically sound the same. There's just a tiny bit more in the body, which is usually going to be taken out in a mix anyway, because these days with modern mixes, they're obsessed with taking out low end so everything can fit. You know what I mean? So this isn't this thing that you would use for a vocal, but it sounded 90% there. And this cost $20 used, This is a Sterling Audio ST31. And you can tell, what I'll do, my vocals sound cheesy on this one, right? But what I'm trying to do is get as much as the fry in my voice as I could that I don't like, to see which ones balanced it out better. And you can hardly hear the difference between any of them. All that matters now really is the type of microphone that you use. So you're just a condenser. I used to think, small condenser and large condensers were, worlds apart, but they're not. It's just some of them are easy to fit in certain crannies, like on drum overheads, things like that. But they're so cheap now that you can put large ones all over the place. But yeah, things like bass response and the rest of it, then yes, a dedicated bass drum microphone. But, you can pick up Audix ones for $60 cheap and used. Like the ones that I use when I need to get that fat end. So now don't obsess about what brand microphone you're getting. Just obsess about the style of it. Is it a ribbon mic, nice and warm? Is it a dynamic mic where it's lots of punch and mids and where it EQs itself almost? And or do you need something that's good for keeping all the detail, like a large condenser mic? So all you got to do now is think about sections. Hello, Gibson. Oh yeah. No, I've switched to Dean. Yeah, let me show you. Yeah, now I'm exclusively using Dean guitars, so it's pretty good. They treat me well. So yeah, this is a Dean S2000. Yeah. Okay, thanks. Okay, thanks. Bye. So that's it. Lots, as ever, in every aspect of the music industry, there's so much snake oil. There's so much bullshit, and it's time for us to get making music rather than obsessing about the gear, man. I'm telling you. And if you want to stand out, perhaps don't put an SM57 close mic'd on a Vintage 30 and sound like everybody else. Start thinking about how you can buy $100 worth of used mics and put them around the room and get your own sound out of it and see what you can get, see what you can do. It's all good, man. It's a fantastic time. It's a fantastic time to be a musician. So cheap. These microphones, I'm actually kind of happy that they all sound similar, because I know they're all going to be quality. No matter what I bring out, it's going to be quality. So, all right, chaps. And thanks to my patrons of Tone. We've had a few patrons recently. I really appreciate that. I'm glad I didn't get too much shit for my Gibson video. It looks like it was well received. There's a few upset people, but, none of them really could argue with my case. They could just say, just angry that I dare suggest that you don't like Gibson. So on that note, but thanks to the patrons of Tone, I've decided that I'm not going to not swear. I'm going to do what I want on YouTube. I'm not going to pander. I'm not going to control my language because, I just don't care. But the patrons helped me out. So we got Doug H, we have Daniel W, and we have Moesis C. We've got Joseph C as well. And obviously Richard P, the Savage, Twin Savages, Billy B, Jeremy. You guys know who you are. You're the boys. So that's it. A bit of a stream of consciousness about microphones. And actually, this one's good at not listening to my sexy gothic whistle. You told me I'm the only one. 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 And I did, ironically, just to fuck myself up at the end of the video, I did prefer the expensive tube one, but by 5%, just because it had a slight bit more body, but for the rest of it, I don't know, man. It doesn't really matter. And here, I'll play you out with something that I just did with two microphones, which were, some of my better ones. But I could have put the other two, I could have put this set there and got equally as close, within about 5, maybe 10 at best percentages. And it's the performance that counts. So I'll leave you with a little bit of music. Two microphones. One is AKG, the other is Sterling Audio. And it's a little bit lopsided because I am, between the left and right, because I'm trying to recreate the beautiful acoustic sounds of Stone Temple Pilots, and they have a little trick where they mess with the balance in a certain way, which will be coming up in the next couple of days, hopefully.